Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to Crypto Scene Investigation, where we have a look at various cryptocurrency projects and we ask ourselves, is this really worth investing in? My name is Matt, and hopefully we have a good time today. So if you like what I do on this channel, please consider liking and subscribing. And also feel free to comment if, let's say, you have something healthy to add or something which maybe I missed. We do want to try to be a community which is based around truth, but also kindness. So please also be kind and generous in your comments as well. We're not really a bunch of shillers and maxis in here. I mean, some people might be, but... And the other little bit of information is that this is not to be considered as legal financial advice and should only be taken for entertainment, inspirational, and educational purposes. Carpi. Let's have a look at this today. X2Y2 says that its current rank is 2,000, but I'm a little bit hesitant in terms of believing that. I mean, it says that its market cap is currently 328 million, which would make it one of the top coins. But I also kind of feel like that might not also be the case as well. Fully diluted market cap says 2 billion, but that's very close to 3. Total supply says that we have a 1 billion total/max supply, and it says that the current circulating supply is 130 million. Let's have a look at the price. Now, keep in mind that it seems that this has only really been out, or at least according to coinmarketcap, it has only really been around for like the last 24 hours, maybe less, possibly. Maybe a little bit more, not entirely sure. Yeah, so essentially these guys, so I'll just briefly read a little bit about what they say here. So they say X2Y2 R1 will be a full-featured NFT market at its launch. The marketplace's smart contract, front end and back end are all 100% independently developed. And then you can have a read of some of the following features there as well, of what they currently offer. Currently, the marketplaces which it is available on, MEXC, still interesting to see MEXC here. We have seen that on a few other videos as well. Uniswap, and mostly names which aren't really that well known from what I know. So that could be a potential bullish thing if, let's say, because these guys aren't listed on those current big exchanges yet, that when maybe the time comes, if it does come, that they will be listed on that and you can possibly earn some decent coin. Now, when we have a look on Etherscan, this is quite interesting. So, as you can see, nobody really has any great impact over where over where the actual market can actually be going. So that could potentially be a pretty good thing, because as we can see, these contracts, this wallet right here is in regards to the ENS name, which is the domain/website name. Uniswap is the next one here, so that's V2 Uniswap, and then V3 Uniswap, and also MEXC is another one of the top ones as well. And these other wallets are also sitting under the 1% mark. In fact, that's 0.06%. So in terms of concern, to me, I don't really see that much concern when I actually have a look at it on Etherscan. It actually looks really quite clean and quite nice, to be honest. It's one of the better ones, definitely, when I have a look at that jazz. So what does BSCscan say? It says seems scam. So let's have a look at some of these details. So total supply, that would be, yeah, so that's, that's a different total supply compared to what we were looking at. So max total supply, it says 157 million, but when we had a look here, this said 1 billion. I'll probably trust the actual Etherscan above coinmarketcap. So yeah, there might be something which maybe we are missing, which we could look at Moonarch to see what we can find, but in this circumstance, yeah, could be a little bit different. So we can buy and sell. There is 0 buy and sell tax. Ownership not renounced, 83%. I do wonder where they actually are getting some of these details from, because 83% is a huge amount. And it says dev liquidity issued, dev tokens is 93%. So I believe that possibly relates to the actual liquidity, however. But there are just some things which just currently don't line up from what I can see. So as you can see, this is 0.6%, but when we actually jump back to the actual Etherscan, this is 0.06, not 0.6, in terms of that wallet. However, one thing which, so I have had a chat to the guy from tokensniffer in regards to this, but BSCscan may also be a little bit different in regards to this as well. but I believe that when they actually calculate these amounts here, I will, as I say, need to confirm with the guy from bscheck regarding this, but this could actually be the actual circulating supply as opposed to the max supply. So when Etherscan looks at, you know, the percentages which are taken, right, they usually look at the percentages in comparison to the total supply, not the circulating supply. So yeah, so that's a bit interesting to know. As I say, I'm still a little bit, so this is something interesting, and maybe these are just old stats or something. Report generated on the, okay, cool. Alright, cool. So this is where our problem lies, folks. This is where our problem lies. I'm sorry I didn't bring this up earlier, but this report, so remember, this is a fresh coin. A fresh token. So it says that this report was generated on the 15th at 5:55 UTC, and that was done on the 15th of the 2nd, but as we can see, it is currently 10:58 AM on the 16th for the UTC time at the time of me making this video. So yes, in case you guys are wondering about that sort of jazz. So I'm not going to trust what we're looking at right now, to be honest, because this, yeah, so I think that for the time being, so I'm sorry that I didn't do my due diligence in terms of when this report was generated, but I think that we should probably ignore what this says in regards to its warnings for the time being, because of this is the actual current on-chain analytics, whereas this is not the current on-chain analytics. Although we do see that the total supply was increased, but yeah, I'm not that concerned at the moment. But maybe, oh, okay, so this is also different as well. So it says max supply is 1 billion, but this is actually 157 million in terms of the total supply. So this would be what it says the total supply is, but max and total supply are two different things. So the maximum amount of coins that will ever exist, and the amount of coins that have already been created minus the coins that have been burned. So so yeah, so that's quite interesting. So tokensniffer, let's have a look at when this was deployed. It doesn't give us an idea of when this was created, but I imagine that this is probably created on the spot and it's pretty fresh, because this would have a different idea / way compared to bscheck. So let's have a look at some of these stats. So these are a little bit more accurate. Owner wallet. So keep in mind, this is minusing the current burn supply. So it does say 6.91%. I did do a video where actually it did also say that it was over 5% as well, even though we couldn't see it on the actual blockchain. But with this one, we can definitely get more of an accurate read, especially because one of these wallets is actually a dead wallet. It's got like the word dead amongst it a bunch of times somewhere. This one here. So yeah, even though that says that it has 18,000, there could also be possibly maybe another dead wallet amongst here somehow. I mean, this could be the dead wallet, for instance, but usually when there's sort of dead wallets, you are likely to see them be specifically named. So I don't really think that this is probably a dead wallet. But yeah, we can't really see that being a dead wallet neither. So so it says at least 95% of liquidity burned / locked, which is quite interesting because that does actually line up with this one here. So I am a little bit unsure about sort of where they get that kind of jazz from. But yeah, so owner wallet contains this. So the owner wallet says currently contains 6.91%, which isn't that concerning if they aren't to go and pull it out, for instance. But if, let's say, the owner is to pull out that large amount, it could have an impact on the actual token price. And the creator wallet contains less than 5% as well, from what we can see. And the liquidity, which it says is available, is currently 3,500 ETH, which is a buttload. And as we can see on Gecko Terminal, it does say that our current total liquidity is $23 million in USD. So that also probably helps provide the actual, I guess, coin's price for the actual time being. And these stats also do line up with what we can see on CoinMarketCap as well. So yeah, just to give you guys a bit of an insight in regards to that. Alright, so let's have a look at what Moonarch says. Now Moonarch says contract analysis failed. So we can't exactly see why that cannot be analyzed. I will be messaging the Moonarch developer to find out why that is. But let's see what we can find. So it says token age is only 2 days old, so definitely bear that in mind. So it says that the market cap is 425 million, but keep in mind that would be in regards to the fully diluted market cap. So it will be something a little bit more around, I guess, the 11 million sort of mark, 11 or 23 million, depending on where you look. So it says currently unlocked is 86%. So owner holds 7% here, according to this, 3% here is the creator, and it says that that is currently 2.71% in liquidity. And pretty much, so 99% of that liquidity is actually burned. So yeah, it's quite interesting to think about or look at in that regard. It says owner has 7% of non-burn supply, so yeah, we do know that much as well. Let's have a look at some Google Trends regarding this. So it seems like there has been a bit of research over time regarding this. And so when I did try to Google, I did try to see if it maybe has anything else which it relates to. Couldn't exactly find anything. So over the last 90 days, they haven't had a whole lot of research, but there has been a little bit of research being done with this sort of jazz. And so over the last 30 days, there's only really been one in January 31st and then February 3rd, which I'm not exactly sure how that sort of lines up with the actual with anything in regards to this token, because as I say, we can only really see the most like things which have been done within the last 48 hours. Yeah, so that's a bit interesting. Let's have a look at what Twitter says. Twitter doesn't tell us much. User created January 3rd. They don't tell us any details, but they somehow have 20,000 followers. I believe that this is due to the fact that it is an NFT marketplace. So yeah, so there are a bunch of other NFT marketplaces as well. So do your due diligence. Let's briefly have a look on their Discord itself as well. So they currently have 22,000 members on their Discord, and it looks like yeah, so I won't be sort of going into details in terms of whether or not that is an active community or not. But when you have a look on Twitter, we'll actually just see if we can find some maybe bot accounts, for instance. So error message, wait for the rug in regards to NFTs. So honestly, when I have had a look through these guys' comments, I mean, it's all pretty chaotic, to be honest. It's all pretty wild and kind of out there and go. And then so a lot of people are talking about this unpause thing. I'm not exactly sure what this is in relation to, but this possibly is something to do with this. But I'm not entirely sure exactly, because maybe there was like a pre-sale and it wasn't available to the public just yet. But yeah, so not exactly sure what's going to happen with that sort of jazz. But yeah, if anybody knows, you're very welcome to comment, and I can look at pinning that comment as well, because remember, we want to be based on truth in this community, right? Anyway, so yeah, so there's a bunch of extra comments on here as well. This talks about some of the collections which they have available. We won't really be looking through that, but you can feel free to take a screenshot of that bad boy. And this is their Lightpaper, which they have here. So this is a part of their vision, is to build a truly decentralized NFT market and give it back to the community. It's a mission, a journey, and our promise. So let's continue looking. So they talk about problems which they have: lack of transparency. Before Looks Rare was officially published. Okay. Okay. Tokenomics, inclusive airdrop, no private sale, no trading rewards, no wash trading. Never heard of wash trading before. That's quite interesting. Okay, so total supply 1 billion. So that's what we can see here. Cool. So total allocation, staking rewards is 65%, airdrop development and team, treasury and ecosystem. So yeah, so I think that all of these are looking pretty solid, to be honest. And I believe that these are probably somehow aligned with these numbers here as well. But yeah, I mean, we because of the sort of burn supply, I mean, I feel like these kind of numbers are a little bit skewed in terms of the actual accuracy on the percentages. So just sort of bear that in mind as well. But yeah, pretty safe, to be honest. Yeah, 12% airdrop is quite a lot, but yeah. So they talk about the airdrop as well, who will be eligible. We're going to move on from that because we don't really need to know that. Initial liquidity offering, probably not that important, so we'll skip past that. Doesn't look like there's anything which really stands out to me in regards to that. They talk about the marketplace as well, the release schedule, which actually we have already moved past a bunch of these things here as well. The first distribution of market fees, cool. And the roadmap. So let's have a look at what the roadmap says to see if there's anything important on here. So marketplace, so we are currently just past the marketplace. Metaverse 3D/VR immersive UI/UX for NFT. Cool. Looking forward to what that might have for us. Build market on L2. And so that's in regards to decentralization. Okay. Exit to DAO. The final form we envision for X2Y2 is a DAO, where the members of the DAO decide the direction of the project. We believe that what drives the progress of a DAO is not the token price, but the consensus of the participants on the project vision. Cool. So anyway, what is X2Y2? Comes from the formula of a perfect circle. Okay, that is... that's interesting. That says R2, but yeah, remember when we actually had to read here, it says R1. So anyway, so here are some of my thoughts about this. Let me tell you some of my problems, and let me tell you some of the good things. So good things is the fact that this looks clean. This looks incredibly clean. It doesn't look like there is any huge whale which has an overpowering impact on this. Because this token is mega fresh, like within like the last 48 hours kind of fresh. I mean, to have a market cap and a fully diluted market cap of these numbers is just insane. That could be possibly taking into account the actual NFTs. So this could be possibly used to, you know, like, I don't know, seem like they have more than what they actually have. Another issue is the fact that we can't see what Moonarch says about it as well. I mean, that's nothing to do with the actual like project guys themselves, but you know, it's a bit of a concern on my personal behalf. And yeah, so liquidity is safe, liquidity looks good, the liquidity present, the fact that we have 3,500 ETH available on Uniswap for the liquidity tells us a lot in terms of sort of good things. So keep in mind, because this project is incredibly new, it's hard to say how, I guess, good or reliable that they are in that sort of essence. Possible negatives, one of them, we can't see the team. We don't know who the team is behind this. They could possibly find a way to rug pull on us. The ownership has not been renounced as far as I know, so it means that they could potentially disable the selling, change the fees, or mint new tokens as well. So that is a potential risk which we could be looking at. And the fact that we can't actually see any extra details on here to tell us what they could do is also pretty annoying. But yeah, so it says that there has been no other prior similar token contracts, which is probably another reason why Moonarch is having a bit of a hard time reading that. And also I think that BSCscan should try to be a little bit more up to date with that sort of jazz. There's no major exchanges which we currently have this listed on. However, that does not mean that it is a bad thing for you to invest, because it could be a great time to invest because it's not listed on any major exchanges yet. I mean, other than if you consider MEXC some sort of major exchange. We currently don't see any sort of partnerships neither. We don't have any interviews. We don't know the relevant experience of the guys who are behind the project. So pretty much the one thing, so if we sort of scroll on here, the one thing in regards to transparency, which, you know, we'd probably want to find, is a bit of a kind of hit and miss here. However, I believe that because these guys are aiming to be a DAO, so that's a part of this sort of like, this sort of end goal is for this to be a DAO. It does make a bit of sense at the fact that these guys aren't kind of doxing themselves, but it does also definitely add extra risk in regards for you being the investor for this project. So yeah, other than that, man, should you invest? You answer that question yourself, baby girl. Yeah. You choose the answer to that. I'm not going to tell you whether or not to invest in these guys. I will likely not be investing with these dudes. Yeah, so yeah, just to let you know. But that doesn't mean it's bad. So yeah, do your own due diligence, my kings and queens. Anyway, that's the video. Thank you for watching. Please remember, like and subscribe. That'd be wonderful. And also, once again, if you do want to comment, please make it healthy, please make it productive, and please make it kind. Yeah, remember, spreading truth, and make it truthful. Don't lie about these projects. Yeah, that's my Patreon. If you want to subscribe, subscribe and join. You can do special fan requests, become an advocate of mine. Yeah, every little bit helps. Anyway, guys, much love, fare thee well, be safe, don't do anything I wouldn't do, and be kind to one another, and your friends and family, and strangers, be kind to them as well, alright? Ka kite ano.